Time now for the executive edge. China now targeting the import of U.S. lobsters with stiffer tariffs. And Contessa Brewer joins us now from Maine with that story. All right, we got to settle this thing, Contessa, I think now. Lobster.
Yeah, but you gotta do it because these guys are really hurting. Look, it's a busy morning. You have folks packing here lobster, heading to Hong Kong, and it looks busy, right? Well, looks can be deceiving. The sales are off 50%. I mean, this is a business, the lobster company in Arundel, that had invested and expanded and ramped up to supply beautiful Maine lobster to a newly ravenous Chinese market. And then the trade war erupted. 25% tariffs were slapped on American lobster. On September 1st, that increased to 35%. Well, it didn't matter to the lobster company because their Chinese market all but disappeared.
Most people's pockets aren't deep enough to sit around and take a 50% hit to your business waiting for it to return.
You know who's loving all of this? The Canadians. They have sent 40% more lobsters to China in the first half of 2019 compared to the first half of 2018 before the tariffs came into play. And where are all those lobster coming from? Well, here's the puzzle. The U.S. is selling 130% more lobster to Canada. And there's suspicion on both sides of the border that the Maine lobster are actually going to Canada, getting packaged up like this, but labeled caught in Canada, and then shipped to China anyway. Oh, by the way, you know who has a free trade agreement to sell lobster? Canada does with the European Union. You know who doesn't? The United States. It's a real problem that they need to crack, guys.
Wow.
So to speak.
Boy.
Contessa, wait, where are they catching? They're labeling caught in Canada, but they're being caught where?
I want to be very careful with my words. There is suspicion that the lobster, which populates these cold waters off the coast of Maine, are getting caught in Maine and shipped to Canada, packaged in Canada, and sent to China, thereby avoiding tariffs. Suspicion, no proof.
Well, that
makes sense. I can understand why.
Because then I wouldn't worry. Hopefully, if this finally eases, these guys will be able to renew business with China, and they'll still have their jobs.
Oh, You would think, Joe, but here's the problem. Canada has expanded its facility to accommodate this Chinese market. I mean, 40% more year over year. So they have charter flights now flying to China to take lobster there. That doesn't disappear once the United States makes a trade deal with China.
Oh, the charter
This company, the lobster company, is very concerned that the Chinese customers don't come back, that they've already moved on.
Oh, the charter flights are out of Maine, or the charter flights are out of Canada?
Halifax, out of Halifax.
Is there a different margin for? Is there a premium price for lobster from the United States for Maine versus?
Here's what we're learning. Yeah, it's a great question. Here's what we're learning. In all these commodities, whether you're talking lobster or rice or soy, there is a premium that's put on American goods because there is a sense of quality, of food safety, and of knowing the source that the Chinese are willing to pay a premium for. And that's one reason why these Chinese markets are so important for the exporters. And by the way, they're pointing out, hey, when we export lobsters to China, we are repairing the trade imbalance. We're doing what the president wants. So the tariffs make no sense.